listening to this audio. I'm at the skate park now. I'm at Tony Hawk's skate park. I'm at his place. This is his ramp. And he's about to show me. Him and his buddy Andy are about to show me the Howie in person. And I don't mean me, because I could just stand in front of a mirror. I mean the actual, there goes Tony Hawk. He's going to drop into a Howie.
Good question. I feel like we've been doing about 6 or 7 months now.
Oh, so it's like ours. Same amount of time as ours.
What?
I said, how long has he been doing this podcast? Oh, we're starting. You're late.
Even without me?
Yeah, you're late.
I'm here. I was not sitting down. It's Howie Mandel.
This is Jacqueline Schultz, his daughter.
And we're doing, this is Howie Mandel does stuff. In fact, I was just in the bathroom. Can I ask, and maybe this is wrong, the guest is here. Have you ever gone to the bathroom and then there's corn? Have you ever seen that? There's Tony Hawk is here, by the way.
Didn't you just pee?
Yes, that's why it bothers me more than anything. Have you ever pissed corn?
No, I have not.
Good, this is the first question.
What's the
thank
weirdest thing you've pissed?
That's my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything too strange.
No.
Okay.
No, I've never had the displeasure of peeing blood either, which I have friends that have injuries, and that seems like a really scary thing.
Do pee blood?
Yes,
It does.
I think that's a bad sign.
This is a good start to the podcast.
Well, it's Tony
Yeah.
Hawk.
Yeah. What else would you talk
Well, I was
about?
trying to bring it into the realm of reality. He was talking
Yeah.
about corn. I figured that blood is a little more
Real?
accessible. Yeah,
Accessible.
I don't even understand corn when corn shows up in your shit. I don't understand. No, because
that makes more sense.
it does to you.
Yes.
Have you ever not questioned the fact that every other food you chew and swallow, and then a log of shit comes out?
I think
but
you just
corn,
corn on the cob. You get excited and just swallow them whole, maybe.
but it doesn't nothing. Your body does nothing
I
to
don't
it, and
know.
it still comes out
You
in
know
the
what's
exact same-
weird?
What?
You do chew corn, and sometimes, like, how does it form back together into kernels?
That's
don't
the
think-
magic.
Wow.
Tony?
No.
Are you supposed to be
No.
monitoring this?
kind of fast.
You told me that you were going to make sure
Wait.
no one says anything wrong. I feel like we're already
It isn't wrong. It's
not
right.
wrong. Okay.
Alex is shaking his head.
Alex?
You're right.
What?
It's not corn anymore. Did you know that? I learned that the skin of it stays intact. The inside gets digested. It refills with poop.
Oh.
Fun
It's
fact.
like a little costume. It's
He's
a
like,
little
what did I
costume.
get myself into?
Is there anything?
So I have many
anyway,
children, so I'm used to these types of
You have many
conversations.
children? How many children do you have?
Yeah, I have 4 of my own. I have 2 stepkids.
Wow.
Well, that is a lot.
Is
They're all
everybody-
adults except for our daughter's 13.
Okay. And is everybody a skater?
They are.
They are, right?
Yeah.
And they're like professional.
My oldest is a professional, yes.
How old's your oldest?
He is 29.
And he makes a living as a skateboarder?
He does, yeah.
And how does one make a... First of all, let's go back to the beginning. Tony Hawk is not only a well-known name in skateboard, but you're an entrepreneur. You're very charitable. You're building skate parks all over. How many... I went to the first time you had the charity, the very
Yeah.
first...
The fundraiser, yeah.
The very first fundraiser, but that's been going on for more than a decade now, right?
Yeah. Well, we started the foundation in 2002, so we're coming up on 20 years here. We are in 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's basically to help provide public skate parks in underserved areas. We give funding, we give resources to communities, and we've helped to fund over 900 skate parks now.
That's amazing.
But we started an annual fundraiser in 2004, and we called it Stand Up for Skate Parks because we tried to get stand-up comics to come perform.
That's why I
David
was there.
Spade was the first one to do it.
Wow.
And it ended up becoming more of not stand-up comics, just stand up for skate parks, represent
Right.
skate parks.
Right. Which is better. It's just
was
standing
well,
up for
it was-
something is better than doing stand-up.
What we learned the hard way was that when people are coming to a skateboard charity fundraiser, it's a lot of families with young children.
Right.
Didn't really, not the demographic for David Spade.
Or anybody talking about is corn filled with shit, or is it full?
Well, that seems like that would hit harder with kids. Actually, I think
Yeah.
kids would think that was funny, but it was a weird dynamic. It was a weird audience, and then we just ended up having bands play, and we had some great bands. So.
Speaking of bands playing in that, you're also I talked about being an entrepreneur. You have your first festival coming our way.
Yes, in Vegas. Yeah.
I thought
our
it was
weekend jam.
downtown. Weren't you going to do something downtown here? No, it
Mm.
was in Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas.
But
yeah.
it's all the 90s groups and skateboarding. At the same.
Yes, we haven't announced the bands officially, but you're on the right track. A lot of the bands that came to be known through our video game series.
What are the not the bands that are going to be at the concert, but what is the biggest band that came out of the video game series?
I think the one that people associate mostly with our game series is Goldfinger.
Wow.
They have a song called Superman, and that is the sort of iconic track. That's the takeaway from people that whenever they, I actually was in New York recently, and I was at a corner. I met some friends that we were skating, and this group at a bar nearby recognized me, and they put that song on full blast in the bar.
Wait, you were just skateboarding in Manhattan?
I was skating in Manhattan, and then they just started playing. That was like, they thought it was my theme music.
That's hysterical. What do people say? Like you're in Manhattan and you don't, and you see Tony Hawk going by on a skateboard, and that music is playing.
Yeah, well, it was that a couple of friends that were also skating. We were meeting up at a skate park. We were skating two different directions. We stopped near this intersection and we were talking, and then the people saw us and they were, hey, Tony, hey, what's up? And I said, yeah, hey, what's up? And then all of a sudden that music started blasting.
I'd imagine it's the same thing as when you went to Vegas and someone was playing the Deal or No Deal slot machine and they won, and then you just happened to walk by.
Did
that happen?
Yeah.
That
but
is
more
awesome.
but more than that happening, like somebody will be playing the Deal or No Deal slot machine, and I'll walk up behind them, and at the appropriate time, I'll tap them on the shoulder and go, deal or no deal. And more than not, they'll give me an elbow in the stomach and go, get the fuck away from me. They don't even turn around because they're so
Do they
focused
think
on...
the voice came from the machine?
No, they think it came from the idiot behind them that they just want to not disturb them. So. But speaking of Deal or No Deal, I think that's where we met.
Yes, and I remember it was super fun to be on it, but my participation went horribly wrong.
I don't
Why?
remember that.
Because you had me come on as a surprise to a guy who was a big skate fan.
Right.
And he wanted encouragement and maybe advice, and I was trying to do my best. He chose poorly the whole way through.
Wait, did he listen to your advice?
It was listening more to his family, but I was trying to hype him up. I was just trying to be supportive. It wasn't like I was like, no, don't do this. But I do remember that every time he chose, it was like, no.
So
And
he
then
left with nothing.
He got like $5. I don't know. I think he left with under $50. Is there some minimum?
No,
No.
you can leave with a
zero.
penny. A penny is
Okay.
probably the minimum. If you stayed right to the end and you got the case with a penny,
I think he was at like $5 or $10.
oh, good. So that's not, it's not nothing.
He left with more than he came with.
And he got to meet his hero.
I guess.
Speaking of his hero, is that your real name?
Yes. Well, my legal name is Anthony Hawk, but
Yeah, it just seems like,
never
you know,
went by
that seems like
Anthony.
such a rock and roll skateboardy star name, right? Doesn't it?
When you're growing up, a super scrawny nerd, and people are calling you Bony Cock in elementary school, it didn't seem like a blessing.
Bony Cock. And you didn't keep that for the business?
I should have business cards made like that.
Yeah. How old were you when you started getting recognized for skating? How did you start
I think
skating?
the first time anyone actually recognized me out in the wild. At an arcade. I was at an arcade. I was 14.
In San Diego?
In San Diego, I was 14.
How old are you now?
And, I am 53.
53.
Yeah. So at
You
14,
are tall for your age.
I didn't get tall till I was about 17.
I'm talking about now. You are tall for
Oh,
53.
okay.
You are tall.
Am I supposed to shrink?
I don't know.
Anyway,
so
some
you're
kid
14
said,
years
hey,
old.
you're Tony Hawk. And I was like, how do you know that? What are you talking about?
How old were you when you got your first skateboard?
14. Oh, no, first skateboard, I was 10.
And were your parents into skating? Did your dad skate?
No, my older brother was a surfer. And my dad was in the military. He was in the Navy. He ended up stationed in San Diego. That's how we ended up there. My brother was a surfer. And then during the sort of 70s Dogtown and Z-Boys era, he
That's what
started
I
skating.
saw that documentary at Dogtown and Z-Boys.
So he was that age. And he skated because it was an extension of surfing.
Right.
And then one day I just picked up one of his boards and started using it as transportation.
And so that's how you're getting around town. And then what is
That's how I
the
was getting to school. Yeah.
and what is the next step to becoming like? Then do you compete with other kids that are doing that? Or
No, the next step was that my friend was going to the local skate park, and that was a big deal. And I think the age limit for the skate park was 10, and so I just turned 10, and I went with him, and I literally saw people flying out of swimming pools, and it was like I had this epiphany. I want to do that. I don't know, whatever that is. I want to learn how to do it because it looks like the
so
coolest thing
Dogtown
ever.
and Z-Boys already existed,
Already existed. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
and they
We're
were.
talking about like 78, 79.
And then so you see these people jumping out or dropping in the pools.
Yeah.
And did you have equipment to do that? Did you have?
No, I was wearing volleyball pads,
That's what I'm thinking.
volleyball knee pads. My skateboard was from a swap meet, like on a clearance bin, and
Right.
but I just knew that I wanted to figure out how to do it. Like I wanted to take every step to get there. It wasn't that I was willing to throw caution to the wind, but I definitely wasn't afraid to get hurt to learn how to do these things. And
Did you befriend the people that were already there? How did you?
no, I just figured out how to get to the skate park as often as possible.
So you got to. So you're at the skate park. You have the shitty equipment.
Yeah.
You're 10 years old.
Yeah.
And what is the next step? Do you see?
I convinced my dad to get me a better skateboard. He got me a better skateboard at the swap meet, but more professional looking. And then my brother I believe he was in college at the time, and he would drive. He was in college in Santa Barbara. He would drive down from Santa Barbara and take me to the skate park once a week.
But like even just dropping in. Am I using the right terminology?
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't know how to. Like if I
Right.
saw a pool, I would be afraid. Like the first going along the sidewalk and making it your transportation, as opposed to trying to do something
Well,
in a pool.
they had different skill level areas. So they had a beginner's area, they had an intermediate area, and so I kind of worked my way up. And then the advanced area were the deep pools, but they had shallower pools in the other areas. So I figured out how to ride those, how to drop in on those, how to sometimes fly out of them, and then eventually made my way over to the bigger pools. And then once I started to get more confidence, more skills, I started to reach the top of the pools. And I mean, I remember vividly the first time I ever actually got out of the pool, and it was like, that was it. I was never stopping.
How old were you when you first got out of the pool?
I think I was 11 or 12.
Wow.
Was that like the turning point from Boney Cock to Tony Hawk? Like, no, I'm serious.
No,
was that like all of a
that
sudden
name
you were?
followed me. That name followed me. Actually, I think that name was more created during my skate years.
We're going to
I'm
use that
not-
name
well-
on the title of
Awesome.
this.
I don't even just
Finally,
mean the
let's
name though.
Bring it full
Podcast.
circle.
I don't even mean the name though. I mean like cool acceptance with like other kids at school and all that kind of stuff.
Skateboarding was the furthest thing from cool you could do
Really?
in 1980, 81. Because
So-
it had already come and gone.
Well, let's stay where you are. You're in 1978. Now you fly out of the pool, and you go, I love this, and I want to be there every minute. So when you're starting, did you ever have a big injury at that time? I would imagine that you get banged up a lot.
Yeah, within my first 6 months of skating, I had a concussion and knocked my front teeth out.
And your parents never said, "Don't do this."
No, they were concerned. But I was the youngest of 4 siblings, and they had kind of been through so much with my older sisters and my older brother, and it was just kind of like whatever kept me busy, just let me go, because I was so I was. Remember the 70s, you were diagnosed as hyperactive.
Right.
I was hyperactive. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything for you, but I was just always going. So it was just like whatever keeps him busy and out of the house and happy, let him do that. And so when I did get hurt, they were obviously concerned, but it was the 70s.
And getting your concussion and getting your teeth knocked out, there was never any trepidation of going back tomorrow and jumping on the board.
No, not for me.
So now you get hurt and you're getting in and out of the board. Is your brother also skating alongside
That's
you?
when he started to kind of pull away from it, because he was graduating. He got a job, and it, like I said, it was just more. It was considered a kid's fad, so I was still a kid.
Okay, so from where is the turning point for when you're just having fun in a park where you say, where you're getting recognition or sponsorship? I don't know what is the next step?
It was a very small community at that point. There were only a couple parks still open all over in the U.S. or across the world. And so there were some competitions. They would do. They created skate park teams, and so I was on the skate park team in my age division. And then we would go to different skate parks and compete. And you tried to gain points for your park. And then within that first year, I got an actual skateboard sponsor.
Which meant that you just got a free skateboard,
Free
or did
skateboard,
they
yeah.
they didn't pay you anything?
No, there was no money. No.
Okay, so now you got a free skateboard.
Got a free skateboard. I was actually sponsored by Dogtown. That was my first sponsor.
Really?
Yeah, but it
Wow.
was right at the tail end of their success. And little did I know they were going out of business when they chose to sponsor me. And at some point, I wasn't getting skateboards from them. No one was calling me. And then Stacy Peralta, who is the founder of Powell Peralta, the Bones Brigade team, he called me. I remember because I was home in San Diego, and my mom's like, "It's long distance, Stacy Peralta." And he called me and he said, "Hey, Tony, I heard Dogtown went out of business." I didn't know. I guess that's why I'm not getting skateboards.
Right.
And then he said, "I'd like you to come up here to LA and talk about riding for Powell Peralta."
And that's what you did?
Yes.
How old were you?
Yeah, I was 12.
And your mom and dad were okay with having you leave town and
My
go
brother brought me. My brother was still very supportive. So he drove me to Marina Del Rey, which is the sort of epicenter of where the Dogtown Z Boys skated.
Right. With Venice, right?
Well, yeah, I mean Venice, but Marina Del Rey skate park was right under the 90 freeway, and it was like that's
that
where all
still
those
there?
guys. No. But that's where all those guys would skate. So that was sort of the most hardcore epicenter of skateboarding at the time. So I came to Marina and met Stacy, and he said, "Hey, we'd like to sponsor you on the Bones Brigade." And to me, I was a little hesitant because that was the ultimate team, and I was Boney Cock. I was still that skinny kid that was made fun of for the most part for my style. People did not like my style at all.
Is your style considered different?
Well,
than
it was
what
more, and at that time it was more focused on tricks, and it wasn't about flow and speed and power and aerials. It was more like I was doing these little spins and stuff with my skateboard, like I was twirling a baton. So they said I was doing circus tricks, but the fact that I had validation from Stacy Peralta went a long way. So once I got on the Bones Brigade and started to do well in different events, then that narrative changed.
Well, you changed the style, right? Or what people looked for in the whole sport.
There was a technique that I developed that I was made fun of originally that now is the standard way that people do aerials.
So, but when you were young and they were making fun of this style, did you... I'm fascinated that a young kid, but it sucked. But I would think that I would be, as a young person, going, you know what, they're making fun of me. I'm going to try to do it the way they're doing it. You didn't change.
I didn't have the strength to do that. I was so skinny that I was doing it out of desperation, because I was doing this technique where when the Dogtown crew and the people of the late 70s, when they would do aerials out of pools, they would reach down and grab their board before they got to the top, and then just kind of muscle it into the air, and it was just more like a hop. And what I developed is doing an ollie near the top and then launching myself into the air and then grabbing my board at the apex. And the reason I did that is because I didn't have the strength to muscle myself into the air, so I had to launch, and that became the way to do it, because you could get way higher that way. You don't kill your speed by reaching down for your board before you leave the pool.
And this is also the predecessor to, do you snowboard?
Yeah.
And skateboard would be the predecessor. There wasn't snowboarding at the time.
No.
So, and all those tricks and all the ollies and all that is the same terminology that they're using in...
Yeah, snowboarding is kind of taken on a life of its own, because now it's a lot of gymnastics type of moves and double cork flips and things like that.
And you don't do that in skateboarding?
We do a bit of that, but it's just different. It's just a different plane, and you're attached to the board, so the ollie is redundant.
And I find this fascinating that you started doing this as a kid for transportation. You created a style, and now this style is what is looked upon as professionally. I mean, I watched it in the Olympics
for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're still a young guy. I mean, in your life, from 10 years old to 53, you're watching something that you did. Your brother takes you to a park. I go, oh, that's kind of cool. And because you did it, because I believe that you are a leader of this sport. Not only are
thank
you
you.
well known, thank you. I had a skateboard when I was a little kid, but nothing I did was going to lead to changing the world. I'm older than you. I'm a decade older than you, and I had a shitty wooden flat. I think I had a 2x4 with some
with metal
wheels from
from roller skates. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it was the same with the
original
roller skate.
skateboard,
That's what I had them, and that's how I used to go to my
Right.
friend's house when I didn't want to take my bike. But you tried this thing out, and now the world is watching it. Look who's here. Do you know this guy, Tony?
It's Theo.
Hey,
Do you know Theo Vaughn?
I do. I just got to. I had the
So,
honor of doing his show recently.
Wait, is this real? You're just coming in here to take measurements?
Theo Vaughn
Yeah.
he comes in to measure
You guys go ahead. Don't mind us.
No, you want to before you measure this. Why don't you measure bone and cock?
Measure bony cock.
Measure the room.
He's measuring the room now.
He didn't tell him that
Hold it real fast.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me you guys were in.
We're doing I'm right in the middle of a.
of an interview.
Are you buying carpet for me?
All right, I'm gonna document this now. Like this whole thing has just gone south. So
We're talking about the.
That's what happens in
Do you
this
skateboard,
podcast.
Theo?
Huh?
Do you skateboard?
No, you know what? I used to roller skate a little.
But that's not even. Where do you want this? At the wall?
Wait, what's right here?
are you renovating this place?
What is?
I'm actually thinking
Theo not only does comedy, but Theo does.
I'm so confused.
So am I. I have no idea. This is not a plan, but welcome to the.
Sorry, I do some light flooring. No, I was just trying to see if we do our thing here, what it's gonna be like. So.
What? You keep moving
How-
it though, Dad.
I don't. I know I was holding. Did you get the measurement you needed?
That's about 8 feet.
All right.
I knew it was gonna be. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
All right.
right.
Thanks for coming in and measuring.
Good luck with that project.
Oh, appreciate it. No worries, man. I'm just putting in a small quarter ramp here.
Oh,
Double quarter
A double quarter ramp.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a half ramp?
ramp. Well,
half pipe.
Half pipe.
Half pipe.
Yeah.
we'll see how it shakes out.
You know what I did? I built a half pipe in my garage.
Yeah, for Alex, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I did.
Awesome.
My son.
Yeah.
For my son.
Gee, supportive
But-
dads.
well, the problem was that they
The garage?
garage is
Yeah,
like
I've seen a lot of that.
So he would go up and then smash his face into the ceiling. It wasn't a good idea. There was no engineering involved.
You
It's
were
not that
supportive
counts.
dad.
No, but let's finish this.
I have a question, but
Wait. I have a question. What the fuck just happened?
yeah. I have a lot of questions at this point.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I think my question comes later on.
Okay, but we were
Go ahead.
talking about. I'm talking about how it went from some skinny little scrawny kid, Anthony, at Parks in San Diego, to now, which is a renowned, viewed, exciting Olympic international sport, where they are. I watched it. What? I mean, that's what's amazing. And not only that, they are being judged and scored on things that he created.
That is surreal. I have to admit, because I was there. I was in Tokyo, and to hear Olympic announcers and international announcers calling tricks like stale fish that I created, that I named,
Yes.
it's so odd.
Didn't you win a medal? I thought you won.
No,
No,
he
I
wasn't in the
didn't.
Olympics.
No.
No, he's
Oh.
not competing.
Do you now wish that you created different names? Like, oh, if I only
No.
created like one
No,
that
because
said
they
like
have funny
better.
stories. I mean, and also it just shows how
Stale fish. What is a stale fish?
it's actually a grab of the skateboard where it's behind your back foot, between your heels, and facing this way. Does that make sense to you?
No.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
if the skateboard is here, I'm grabbing it here and I'm going that way.
Oh, okay. Did they ask you to be a judge?
No,
He was a commentator.
I
I saw you. You were a color commentator
Yes, uh-huh.
at NBC. I listened to you,
Thank
and
you.
even before you were here, when do you know? I was so proud. I said, he was once on Deal or No Deal. To meet the guy that created, not only created. It's one thing to meet somebody. Wayne Gretzky, who I'd love to talk to on the podcast, was the god of hockey, but he didn't create hockey. I think that half of the things that these people are getting scored on didn't even exist before Tony got on a board and now
I
he's
wouldn't say
explaining
half,
to me.
but I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's
yes.
the Mozart.
I think that I would say more than half, because I'll tell you this. No, this is why.
And he knows skateboarding.
I don't.
If there's any-
But this is what I do know. I do know that you inspired there was a way of doing it and there was a way that already existed. And then out of whatever necessity was, you created new ways. People went, oh, that's the way to do an ollie. That's the way, that's looser. I'm using less power and I'll use, finesse to get me up to that height. Other people started copying you and then creating their own things based on whatever you infused in their, they went, oh, that's a different way to do it. So not that you created everything, but you have a fingerprint on what most people are doing in the sport. And I think people like me who are laymen who don't know anything about the sport, you're the one name they know.
That's exactly right. I was going to say that. That's his name. I don't know the sport at all, but I know your name. So that's pretty amazing to me. You've done something huge.
Well, thank you. I think a lot of people know my name also is synonymous with video games. So,
but the video game came after your success, and then and then the video game kind of propelled you.
Yes.
Are your parents alive?
No.
I'm sorry. When did you lose your parents?
My dad had lung cancer. He passed away in 1995. And then my mom had dementia, and she passed away in 2019.
Okay. My mom has dementia right now, too, and it's late stage. But what I guess my question was, did they get to see your success?
My dad got to see the first X Games on TV.
Wow.
Before he passed away. And that was, he was a massive sports fan. So to see skateboarding, the thing that I loved throughout my whole life, be on a sports network, to him, that was as big as it ever got.
And isn't that an amazing thing when you can do something in front of your parents?
It's pretty cool. I remember saying hi, Dad, on camera at the X Games, the first X Games.
And your siblings, is there any animosity or jealousness or?
No, they've been super supportive. In fact, my brother ran our foundation when we first formed it. And my sister was my business manager and partner up until a few years ago.
She came to the Deal or No Deal. I think I met her at Deal or No Deal.
She did, yep.
Yeah, I remember
She
her.
was the one usually booking that stuff at the time.
Yes.
Yep.
Your family's not in the business anymore?
No, they're retired.
Okay.
They're older.
Okay. And do you still have retail stores? I remember there used to be Tony
Not
Hawk's.
anymore. No, that was something that Quicksilver did. We had one at the Grove.
Right.
Yeah. No, we had the Hawk Clothing is what my siblings and I started. It was a kids' clothing line for like
skateboarding,
surf, skate, fashion, and Quicksilver licensed it. Then they made those Hawk stores. Then they licensed it to Kohl's. So it's gone on.
What is the biggest business in the Tony Hawk empire? Is it video games? Is it apparel?
Games, I mean, through the years, video games, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that changed my life. That changed my life in terms of opportunity, in terms of finances.
You're like the John Madden of
I suppose.
Right?
It's been wild. I mean, we didn't do one for a few years. We remastered the first two just last year, and that went really well. And then not much happening right now, but it's been wild. I mean,
and you're not in apparel anymore?
We are, yes, still doing Hawk Clothing. Just it's changed hands, and we're doing it elsewhere.
And shoes?
Shoes, I skate for Vans, but
you don't have it. Do you make your own? Do you design?
We were licensing them for a while, but we don't do that anymore.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do that you haven't done yet? It seems like you all your dreams seem to have come true.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have. Well, honestly, like it's been a pretty crazy last decade, and it's hard to consider taking on more projects. So anything I take on now has got to be really more passionate than something that I just want to, that we're hoping to make money from. And so, what would I like to do? I would love to do this thing that we're doing in Vegas. I'd love to take that to do that internationally.
Wow.
Because we're doing
That's
a whole
good.
weekend skate music sort of festival.
That's going to be great. So the
with
bands
video
will be
games.
playing. So the bands will be playing live.
Yeah.
Explain to me
3
how this
days.
festival.
So we're bringing my personal ramp, the one that you've probably seen, that's
Right.
in a big warehouse. We're bringing that to Vegas.
Right.
We're going to have a professional competition on it throughout the weekend. We're going to have what we call Legends demo. So people like Christian Osoy, Steve Caballero, myself, skating.
Is that an
live.
announcement that we're hearing first?
I don't know. We're doing. Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. You are actually.
Let's
yes.
make it a
I
really
can't say the
important.
bands.
Let's make it
I
an
can't-
important
I
announcement.
can't say the bands, but yes, I have.
The first time we've heard about the skaters going to be there.
Yes.
I want some breaking news on
That's
this.
it. Yes. So
Clickbait.
I mean,
Give us click.
and people that have grown up in the 80s know those names absolutely. And then we're going to have a video game element. Obviously, people playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and
On
we're
big
going to
screens,
have on big
outside?
screens, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then we're going to. What else are we having there?
Do you play the game? Do you play the video game?
Yeah,
Are you good at the game?
I'm good. I'm
'Cause
good
that's a
at
different
playing
skill.
with myself, Howie.
Well, back to Bony Cock.
So I know you said that all your kids also skate.
Yeah.
Right? Is there not an element of fear? I'm a parent, so I know that even though I might do something, when it comes to my kids and knowing that they could possibly get hurt, that's when fear kicks in as a parent, and I don't want them to do it. Is there any element of fear with your kids?
They're all different. So the answer is yes to some of them, because some of them don't realize. Well, I mean, they're older now. They've got a better sense of mortality, but they didn't realize their limitations
Yeah.
when they were young, and those were the ones that were the most scary, because they would go and try something, and it's like, no, don't. You can't do that. You don't have the foundational skills to go do that. You
Yeah.
definitely going to
but
get
that's
hurt.
why young people are in the X Games, and you don't see a lot of 60-year-olds. Because
Yes, but there is the other side of that is some of my kids did have those skills and knew their limitations and knew how far to push them.
But I also, in raising children, we talked about. I ended up in therapy, but part of the things that I learned is that young people, men, boys more than girls, that front cortex of your brain does not frontal lobe does not really fully form until you're about 24 years old. And what that front cortex does, or frontal lobe does, is it is your ramification center.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, a kid will talk back, or a kid will do that, because they do things without. As we get older, ramifications become more prevalent. So if I do this, if I jump off this fucking building, then I'm going to break my leg. Where a young person that doesn't have that fully formed goes, I'm going to try to jump off this building. And as an adult, you go, but you're going to break your leg, and you never practice that. So why would you even do that?
Well, having raised so many kids, I can tell you there are large varying degrees of that.
Right.
And you know that because you let Alex, my brother, do a lot more stuff. Like with me, you don't let me do anything because you say I'm clumsy.
That's because you're stupid.
Oh. No, but
You said
every
you're in
time.
therapy, right?
Well, I just sent her back in.
I see.
Yes. Is your wife in the industry at all?
Well, she grew up as a skater in Detroit, and into
really?
the punk scene, and then moved to California when she graduated college, and she used to edit snowboard videos for snowboard publications. So she's definitely, she's in the industry.
And she's a skater too.
She still skates, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So the whole family.
Much
ever
to the
just-
embarrassments of her own kids.
Really?
Sometimes, well, they're better at it now, but when they were teenagers and we would go travel, and she would bring out, like, we would be in Paris and we'd be skating around town, and she'd bring out the skateboard and like, Mom.
Oh my God. So people
Guys,
would just see a flock of hawks.
I know, but it was always like, Mom, what are you doing? We're all skating. Was she supposed to run alongside?
That's so great though.
Yeah,
Do you
they're
have
much
videos,
better at
do you have
it
videos
now.
of the whole family skating together?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. And there's only the 29-year-old is the only one that's really competing?
He's pro. Yeah, the other ones are good skaters in their own right. But they didn't really they didn't choose to make career. They went to college, and they're all pursuing other.
What is your 29-year-old's name?
Riley.
Riley. Well, I love that name. That's my other kid's name is Riley. What do you feel that he has a lot of pressure being Tony Hawk's son, like undue
Yes.
pressure?
He actually quit skating for a while because of that.
And
in
how
his
do
early
you
teens-
cope with that?
Well, in his early teens, he was shying away from it, and he started doing motocross. And between his mom and I, we didn't really have the resources for him to be doing motocross seriously, to get him to the track and get all the gear, because that's a full-time lifestyle.
When you say resources, you meant time. You have the money.
Sure, yes, we have the money. Well, yes, we had the money.
Yes.
I was say there was a time when I didn't have the money, but he was much younger and he wasn't riding a motorcycle, so yes.
But this is a lucrative business. You're in a very
No,
lucrative...
absolutely. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the resource was the time. Like, when moto kids, that's what their families do. They're living, like they're driving them out to all the races and the tracks and stuff like that. And he was enjoying it, but it was just hard. And he started talking about being sponsored, getting a career, doing it. And I had to have a heart to heart with him and say, you know, Riley, I appreciate that you want to do this. And I think that you're pretty good at it, but you're already very good at skateboarding, especially for your age. And I feel like if you wanted to focus on one thing, you have a better chance of making a career doing this. And I know, yes, I'm your dad, and I know that, but I feel like you already have created your own style. You do it in a totally different discipline. He's a street skater. I'm a ramp skater. I'm a vert skater. And so I just said, if you want to pursue that, I'll stay out of your way, but I think you have a better shot at making a career of it. And I think he heard me.
Yeah, I would imagine in any, you know, I'm in show business. There's always, your ego is always being kicked, and he has an added. It's hard enough to compete, to try to be the best, to try to be noticed. But with that name, even though he heard you, he still probably has to.
He does, yeah. But I think that the other side of that is that skateboarding is so diverse in the ways that you can make a living at it.
So what is the difference between a skateboarder or vert or what?
So I grew up skating pools, right?
Right.
Then pools sort of evolved into ramps, half pipes.
Right.
And that was always my chosen style. Through the early 90s, street skating became more of a
when you jump on the rails and stuff.
Jump on the rails because it was more out of desperation because there were no skate parks. So kids just took to the streets and they figured out how to make the street their skate park. So that happened all through the 90s. That was his era of growing up skating, and that's
it's hard for me to watch. You know, I'm walking around Santa Monica a lot, and I'll see these kids just at Venice. They just jump on these banisters, and they're taking falls, like horrible falls.
So when all the skate parks closed and street skating I was doing it quite regularly. And I went through a whole summer where I sprained both of my ankles severely. And I thought, if I want to keep skating, I can't think I'm going to do these handrails and things. I'm going to have to stick with what I know, which is vert. And even though that was not as accessible, I just kind of focused in on it and kept doing that. My son Riley just went on to become a masterful street skater.
But to some people, what you do is scarier, to drop into like those.
Yeah, there's some irony there because when you're riding a big radius like that, what we call a transition, all of that area you can just slide down when you fall, right? When you're jumping down a set of stairs,
you can still slide down.
You're not sliding down the stairs.
I see that all the time when I watch Ridiculousness. I see all those clips all the time of all the kids like going down the stairs and just eating shit.
Yeah,
which also contains corn.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's why they eat it.
Yeah.
Yes, the street skating seems to be what the I was watching the Olympic events.
So in the Olympics, the disciplines were street skating, which was handrails, stairs, ledges, benches, things like that, and then what we call park skating. And park skating is sort of a hybrid of half pipe and vert and pools, but also skate park elements. So the park event was like there was a deep end with a pool area. There was a pyramid looking thing. There was a jump. There were moguls, and so like in a lot of ways like mogul skiing.
So where you live in San Diego, a house, you have giant. You have like a skate park.
I have a small skate park in the backyard.
What's a small skate park?
It's 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's small. That's tiny.
Tiny.
And don't you have a wave pool too?
No. Someone else asked me that recently. I have ridden wave pools and probably put that out on social media. I don't know if people assume they're mine, but they're not mine.
Okay, I thought I saw a wave pool.
I wish.
Yeah. Because there's a company in San Diego, I think, that makes the wave pool.
Yes. Wave Lock.
Yes.
Yeah, Flow Rider. Yep.
So Flow Rider, which I thought you had.
No, but I used to ride it quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, are you a surfer? Can you surf?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you do everything. You know what's really
that's kind of the same, isn't it? Is that the same
surfing,
discipline?
snowboarding, skating, it's all board sports, standing sideways. Yeah.
Told you.
Okay.
Do you like snowboarding? You like the snow?
Yeah.
I don't like
I'm going this weekend with my daughter.
You know what's really cool to me?
What?
I was just talking to before we started filming about the little girl. I forget her name again.
Sky Brown.
Sky. But now there's all these younger females that are joining
Yep.
the sport. Before, when it was you, when you started, it was primarily just males, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
now the females are not taking over, but there's so many of them now that are
There
competing.
the ratio is becoming very quickly equal.
Yeah.
So the ratio of numbers. Let me ask you something. As a skateboarder, you know, there's talk about this all the time. It is a sport. Do you think that females competing against is there a difference between what a female can do and a male can do? Can they compete together?
I would say that difference is closing in very quickly, and especially like in the street elements, there's not much difference. We haven't seen many females riding the big ramps yet, but they do,
Right.
and they're starting to really shine in them. So I feel like that gap is closing very quickly.
Because it is the men's games and the females games were
Separate, yeah,
Right.
but they always are in the Olympics.
But I would think, in just as a layman watching skateboarding, those aren't the things that people are being judged on.
Especially since you said they take a lot of skateboarding from stuff that you created, and you created a new style based on the fact that you couldn't do a lot of the stuff that needed strength, right? Needed the strength. So
Right.
it seems like it would be accessible to both genders.
It's much more accessible now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just more that it used to be just this dude thing. It was it was in the 70s. It was like surfers and skaters, and it was just like it was bros. and
now there could be bras.
and there were a few girls doing it, but not many, and it was hard to be taken seriously. It was hard to make a career out of it. Nowadays, those doors are busted wide open. And with people like Lizzie Armanto, with people like Sky Brown, who are paving the way and showing that they can do everything that the boys are doing, and they can do it in their own way and still embrace their femininity.
Right.
That's what I always say.
So do you think it's just because it's the Olympics, and the Olympics is pretty
The
old
Olympics
school?
was a huge catalyst. No, the Olympics was a huge catalyst for creating the equality.
Right.
Because before that, even the prize money was askew, right? So if you
what is the
5
biggest
years
prize
ago-
money you can win?
They've had some 6-figure prize money, like in first place, but I would say like a total purse usually is about $100,000
That's great.
for an event. Yeah, but 5 years ago there was a great inequality with the prize money for females and males, and then Vans not too long ago, 3 years ago or so, said we're doing everything's equal across the board, equal prize money, and then the Olympics.
Go Vans.
Yeah, it's great.
Is that
And then the
fair?
Olympics
You think
came
that's
in.
Fair?
And, what's that?
You don't think that's fair?
I don't think that's fair.
Why?
They should get
Why?
more. The girls should get more.
No.
Is this the voice of dissent?
Yeah, he's the one that was coming in here to make sure.
Minority
everything we said-
Report over here.
Yeah.
That's Lou, by the way.
Oh yeah, we met. Yeah.
He said that he was in here to make sure that everything we said was kosher, like on track.
And then he just throws that one out there. So.
Good.
But anyway, when the Olympics announced that they're gonna have skateboarding, it was like there were equal medals for men and women. So if you were going to have 2 disciplines, we're having 4 events.
Right. And they didn't make a different event for a woman, did they? They had the same event.
Same event. Yeah.
Once again, is that fair?
Yes, very fair. Yes.
You're just posing the
Lou,
question.
that's
He's
fair.
not.
Yes. Okay.
That's amazing. Do you still not compete, but with yourself? So will you try to come up with a new trick, or is that over for you? Really?
Yeah, it's changed a bit. My focus is more on technical tricks that are sort of grinding tricks, like on the top of the ramp. And I've come into a place where that's more low impact for me.
Right.
So it's more like I'm doing these. I call them coping dances, but I'm figuring out ways to maneuver my board and turning it into a grind. I just learned one last week, actually.
What's it called?
What's it called? That's a good question.
Do you have to come up with a name right away?
I call the one I just learned the Madge,
The Madge.
because it's a version of the Madonna.
Oh. What is the Madonna?
Madonna is a trick where you go up.
Where you skate like a virgin
How does one skate like a virgin?
with their pants done up tight?
Yes.
Okay,
That
no,
is
what, I
absolutely
don't know,
true.
but so what is it?
It's a trick where you go up and you go in the air. You're going this direction front side. You take this foot off the board, kick it downward, and then when you come back down, you hit your tail on the coping. So it's like you kind of come to a brief stop as you come in.
The fact that you are still trying to create new tricks, is there any possibility that you would name one Howie soon?
Sure.
Please?
Yes.
I would love
In the
one.
Olympics?
Howie.
I would just love to hear my name at the Olympics. Like, and now they're going to try a triple Howie. This is
wow.
how we do
Okay.
it. It's a Howie.
Got it. Okay.
Howie
What's your
fly.
What's your process? Do you like lay awake at night and think about, oh, this would be cool, and think about
Sometimes.
it in your head, and
Yeah.
then go out the next
Or
day? and
or
try-
just an accident.
yeah.
Like this trick I learned, not the match, but this other trick I just learned that basically it's a backside alley-oop, body varial, lip slide.
That one's the Howie.
And did that happen?
That
by,
could be the Howie.
That's the Howie.
Did that happen by
be.
accident? And
It
then you
happened
tried
by
to-
accident because I was trying to do it into a different type of grind, and I couldn't aim from my truck. It was just too hard to coordinate, and I ended up landing on my board instead. I know we're getting the weeds, but I ended up landing on my board on the coping instead of my truck, and I just thought I should just go with that because.
And you got to try to recreate that again. No, I understand.
Yes,
Instead
yeah.
of landing on the wheels, you landed on the wood on the
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get what you're.
Yeah.
You're not in the weeds. I'm
Right.
kind of interested. And
I'm kind of interested.
no.
Well, I mean, you think
I
about
love
it, the
techno-
landing on the truck, you've got like this 6-inch space, and then landing on the board, you've got all the bottom of the board, right?
Yeah.
Do
So-
you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
within-
talking about
between
so
the
you
trucks.
landed in the middle,
In the middle of the
between.
board,
I thought
yes.
you were
Yeah.
talking about the tail.
The
like
tail
it-
and the nose, yeah.
Yeah, the tail and the nose. What I find fascinating is because as a kid who's a little bit older than you, this was just nothing. It was just like they got me a board, and instead of getting the bike, I'm going to roll from here to there. And the fact that it is turned into such a technique, and the fact that you have to think about it and plan it, and then recreate these accidents over and over again that are now scored internationally, I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating that so much has come out of nothing, and out of nothing has come so much, if that makes any sense.
And not only that, wasn't it frowned upon? Like when it first started, when people were first skateboarding, weren't parents and everything?
Yeah, they definitely thought it was a negative influence.
Right.
What are your
Well,
thoughts?
most of my friends' parents did not want them skating or banned them from it altogether, and they had to sneak it. And a lot of the times, my dad would be the one that gave them rides to the skate park or to the events.
We had Rob Dyrdek in the other day. Are you friends with Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had Rob Dyrdek in the other day, and he talked about how his mother still, he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and how his mother is still upset with him that he left high school or he doesn't have a GED, and she said, don't say that on
There's
TV.
still time.
I love that.
Encouragement.
It is encouragement, but it's amazing that when you have a passion in life, when you have something that like hits you at 10, the fact that you can make a lifetime, you can make an industry out of it, you can inspire other people to do it, and you could change the world. That just shows people that from so little, it doesn't matter. I don't know if you're, somebody sitting at home listening to this right now, picking lint out of their belly button, that may end up being in the Olympics. Do you wake up in pain? Are you in pain
No,
now?
it's not that I'm in pain. I've come to a place where it's like this is my new limitations of movements, and I'm okay with it.
Do your
'cause I
knees
can
hurt?
Still skate. No.
Ankles?
Sometimes.
Palms.
My neck gives
He's
me
back to
my neck gives me
the bony
most-
cock.
Yeah, wait a second. Where are we going with that?
No, but then do you think there'll be a time when you decide like it's time to hang up my
I don't
skateboard?
know. I've never made ultimatums like that. So
But there would never be a time, because the truth is there is a time where maybe he doesn't want to do, something extreme with it, but he'll always be able to
yeah,
roll.
I feel like if I'm able to stand up, I'm gonna ride a skateboard. Yes, I definitely and if I feel like also my skills are fading so much, I won't want to do it in public. Like I won't be sharing it on social media or doing exhibitions and things like that. But I feel like I just always would do it.
Do you feel pressure to excel? Like when you are at your festival or when you're at a show and they go, ladies and gentlemen, there's no bigger name. You are, you know, the Beatles what the Beatles are to music, you are to skateboarding. When the ramp is up and the music's there and they go, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Hawk, and you're about to drop in on that ramp, do you feel added
for
pressure
sure.
just being who you are and what you've achieved?
I do, yeah. I'd say I feel it more because in that scenario, I'm in my comfort zone.
Are you?
Because I'm on my ramp.
You're not 18 years old now.
No, but I've been doing that for so long, and I kind of know how to play the hits. So there is an element of if I'm not completely on point, or if I'm not, if I'm not feeling the flow, I know that there's certain go-tos that I have that the crowd will like to see, and I can do them pretty easily. Sometimes everything's firing, and I can kind of step it up. I think I feel that pressure more when, let's say, I just go to a public skate park, and I'm just go to cruise and unannounced, and kids recognize me. That's when I feel more pressure because it's like, oh, look who's here.
Do you ever wear a disguise when you're in a public skate? No.
Mostly, it's funny because I get this a lot, and I've actually shared it a lot on social media. But I do get this sort of this somewhat recognition because people know my face maybe from, say, 20 years ago, like video games or X Games and things.
Right.
But they didn't expect it to be like, for them, it's just stuck in that time capsule.
Right.
So they didn't expect me to look old.
Right.
So it's kind of like, hey, you look like that, like an older version of that guy.
That happens to me every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same. That's it. And people, to this point, I've shared so many funny encounters. People think I'm making it up. I'm telling you, it still happens. Follow me around for a day. You'll see it happening.
Yeah, well, me too. They go, you know who you look like? And
Yeah.
I go, who? And they go, Howie Mandel. And I'll go, I am Howie Mandel. They go, no, you're not.
Oh, see, I don't even, when they say it, I don't tell them.
Wait, when they say
Like,
you're...
say, oh, anyone tell you look like a Tony Hawk? Yes. And then that's it.
And then they walk away.
And I walk away. Yeah, that's the
And then you
encounter,
do
quite
a
bit.
triple ollie flip. Not...
Sometimes, well, one of the funniest encounters I had was I was at an airport. I was waiting at my gate, and this guy came up to me and said, anyone ever tell you look like Tony Hawk? And I said, yes, quite a bit. He's like, oh, that's crazy. And then he sat across from me and watched as other people approached me and got autographs and photos who knew who I was.
Right.
And the whole time he was looking at me like we're both in on the joke. And all these people don't get it. And every time someone else knew it, he'd look at me like, yeah.
I love that.
Like, you're just running it.
Oh, that's hysterical. And you never...
Never.
I love that. That's a great idea.
You should skateboard though with a disguise.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, beard.
You mean like those basketball ads they've done where they
It
dress
was
them
just-
up old?
Yeah, like a long beard,
Right.
overcoat, baggy.
Isn't that what the
pants.
Jackass guys did, where they dressed as
don't know.
older
Yeah.
guys and skateboarded around as old men? Yeah, they did that, didn't they?
I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
When is your festival?
May 11th to 13th.
And when does it go on sale?
It's on sale.
It's on sale. And you have not announced
When does
the
this
band.
air?
I don't know.
May 16th. How was the festival? Did you enjoy yourself?
It was the best. I wish I could tell you what bands played, but I can't yet.
This is 2 weeks. It airs in 2 weeks. Can you?
We'll have the bands announced then, yeah.
Oh, so nothing you've done.
So then
is-
we could do like 1 week.
Who are you?
Come on,
Who,
I gave you the skaters.
who you booking? We could do 1 week. We could do this next week. Let's do this one next week. Will the bands have been announced next week?
Really, no.
Next Tuesday? You don't know. It's
Well,
your.
I know, but there is a group that's booking
What?
the bands.
Caroline just texted me. I told you just to pipe in and tell us. You're in the new Jackass movie.
I know.
I
You're
am.
talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in the new Jackass movie.
I am. Yes.
Is that an announcement?
I don't know. Sure.
Well, not if Caroline knew. Probably not, right?
So are you you're doing this? This is your festival. When you say it's your festival, are you working with Live Nation? Are you working
Pollen.
with? Okay. And is this something that you hope to be making a lot of money with, or you hope to be annual? Or
I would hope that we would be able to take this format and do it in other cities this year. Again, this year.
like
and mostly-
Ozfest, like an Ozfest
Yes.
kind of thing?
Yes.
Yes.
And I would like to do it internationally. I think that if you ask me, like, what do you aspire to? It would be something like that.
What is the weirdest place
but
that?
not like Astro World, right?
Right.
Not like Astro World.
Yeah, not like that.
Okay, just making sure.
Thank you, Jackie. For bringing us to a stop.
Wait,
Whenever
actually,
you can.
honestly, we would have a very limited ticket sales because
Yeah.
we want the whole.
How
thing
many
to,
people
we want
can
the whole thing to
attend?
be intimate. I think that we're gonna sell out somewhere around 5,000.
Oh, that's a
something like
small
that.
festival, but that's
That is small.
great.
Right, because
Because they'll be close
everyone's-
enough to
yeah,
see
exactly.
the games and to
Yes.
see you
Yes.
and to see the older version of
Yes,
your
yes.
face. Where is the weirdest place that you've had to like? I think skateboarding is an international sport now,
Yeah.
and you've done this all over the world. Where is the weirdest place that you've been asked to attend and do your trickery?
I went to a kind of a skate camp. It's sort of a children's refuge, but they have a skate facility there in Ethiopia.
An Ethiopian children's refugee camp. You were
Kinda,
skating
yeah.
on ramps.
They
Children.
they built a half pipe because the guy who
built a half
organized it, the guys who organized it, he wanted to introduce skateboarding to the kids because he
And get their mind off of
travels.
getting fed and safety.
he actually provides them shelter
Oh, good.
and food, yes, and education.
Did they know who you were?
They knew who I was because of he's told them who I was.
This is Tony Hawk.
Yeah, well, he showed them videos.
Oh, that's
and
great.
things. Yeah.
No, but that's amazing that you
And,
get to
we
see.
built. When I say half pipe, I'm talking about like it was about this tall.
Oh.
It's like 8 feet wide. It was literally the foundation.
Because my
was
image
stones.
is like, but that's
Yeah,
that,
it's
that
not
makes it
some-
better. My
no.
my image was in the
I
middle
know.
of a refugee camp
Right.
where children
There's some
are
shining, glamorous half pipe. I get
three
it. yes.
stories in the air and Tony Hawk and a band playing and they're looking out of their tents with flies around their heads going.
Why
I
is
knew-
that man?
I knew I had to provide context.
You did.
Yes.
And and it's also but it is amazing
But
how
and the kids-
far reaching.
But also, so there's another group called Skatistan, and they provide skateboarding facilities and educational facilities in places like Cambodia. They had one in Kabul. They have one in Johannesburg, South Africa. And so they engage the kids, get them interested in education, and provide them skating. And when the skating is the catalyst for them to stick with it. For
I
them
love
to
that.
stick with, yeah, it's amazing. So that's kind of the one in Ethiopia is sort of along those lines on a very smaller scale.
But I love that. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing to me that I'm here in the same room as somebody who has.
If anyone want to look it up, Mugabe skate. There you go.
Let's put it up on the board. Mugabe
Okay.
skate.
And we can put it in the description.
She's not here.
too.
She left.
Okay.
No, we can put
Sometimes
it in the
Caroline
description.
gets busy and she takes a meeting and she
Where did
leaves.
she go?
It's all right.
Who leaves in the middle of a show?
Our producer's gone.
But we used to have a producer, but
she sent
she's
me
left.
one text that said, "You're in Jackass," and then she left.
Really? There's my son sitting down. Where
She's
did
making
Caroline
corn.
go? What?
She's what?
Making corn.
Yeah, she's making.
Oh, she's making corn. What should he look up? Mugabe?
Megabi.
MEG.
Yeah,
But that's
Mugabe
funny. I'm just more fascinated with the fact that we have a producer who can't wait till the end of the show. I guess we only hired somebody for half a show. A lot of people have a producer for a whole show, but Caroline is busy. Where could she? And this isn't even on. She turned off the power, and she left.
No, but no matter what, we could put it in the description, right? So that they
Yeah,
have
we'll
access and-
show it.
Yeah. Oh, there she is. She was in the bathroom.
Caroline, when you leave, you have to tell somebody you're leaving and put somebody on your post. You can't just walk away. What if I did that?
Seth is right next to me.
You're throwing Seth under the toilet?
Sorry, I had to pee.
No, I know, but you turned everything off, and we don't know what's going on.
That's really weird though, because I'm plugged in.
Okay.
It's really
All
weird.
right.
It's really
It's really weird.
so
You went to pee and didn't tell anybody. And now this was the most important
go.
moment. There I go.
What? It's
Yeah, there
the LED wall's down.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it
Oh,
probably
there
went
is
to.
stuff actually comes on that wall. I thought you.
What did you think that was?
I
what did
thought
you
you
think
were
we were
saying
doing?
it was going to be imposed, and I was like, why are we so fixated on that? Can't you do that after the fact? I thought. It was
Oh,
like,
you thought
I think
we
you're
were
just-
actually looking in this direction because we know
Yeah,
that
like
that's
it's a
the,
news thing.
that
It's
that's
just
where the
like-
graphic
Right,
goes up
yes.
afterwards.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
It's
put
like a green
something.
screen.
We can let's just all point in that direction and see what Jeremy puts in post. No, forget it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
But anyway, you're doing good work in good places for good things.
Thank you.
You are, I would imagine, considered a hero to so many people and so many young people, not only who are doing the sport, but are getting out of their house and getting an education and doing things physically, getting moving. I think that's a big issue with a lot of America. We have a lot of people who just, especially now, it's funny because you're the yin and the yang because they could sit at home and just play Tony Hawk.
Play the video game, yeah. Like the video
and
game.
eat shit
Yeah.
and sit there for 12 hours a day, or they can actually experience it and get out there and be physical. Are you?
Well, I do believe that the silver lining of that was that our game inspired a generation of kids to try and start skating, where they had no exposure to it before that. They played the game, they enjoyed it, they started to learn about the tricks and the culture and the skaters, and then they went out and bought a skateboard.
I love that. I want to do a video game where it's just me sitting and you control me sitting, sometimes reclining, sometimes sitting up, sometimes looking and off and in another direction. It's the Howie Mandel sitting video game.
Howie Mandel's pro sitter.
Yeah.
Pro
sitter. I love that.
That
See,
has a connotation though of like babysitting, so maybe not.
sitting pros though,
Pro level.
but at the professional level.
Hello, yeah.
I would babysit. We're into merch. We're trying to sell merch
Okay.
now. So
Maybe we can get his help because he knows all about merchandise and you sell a bunch of stuff. What should we have for merchandise?
we have a mug.
Yeah.
And just do stuff.
I think mugs.
I
Yeah,
have a
mugs
mug.
are good.
Oh, this is her mug. She has.
Wait, there's stuff in it, Dad. So
Oh,
don't
I know.
sell it. Okay.
This is my daughter's mug.
Want to see?
Don't be a twat waffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Well, I'm trying to figure out is that like a thing on Twitter or are we just saying twat waffle? Like,
No, she said
exactly.
twat waffle.
Don't
That's
be
what
a
you thought.
Alright.
I also have one that says sometimes I'm a unicunt.
Wow.
Yeah. With a unicorn.
So proud of my kids.
I also have one that says what is it?
It's on Etsy.
Twatopotamus. Don't be a twatopotamus.
She has another site. That
Is
says-
there a difference between a twat waffle and a twatopotamus?
Just the cute picture. But you could get the whole set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
on-
so
What's wrong with
you're
you?
asking
Why don't
me-
you buy them all?
you're
It's on
asking
Etsy.
me-
It's on Etsy.
Oh, there you go.
She's a mom. She's got shit moms say and that, and they're actually selling. People love twats.
Okay,
I
we
You
got
have a
actually-
taco one?
advice,
Isn't there a taco one?
Yeah. That's a greeting card and it says you're the only meat I want in my taco. And there's a picture of
Wow.
That's my kid. See,
I was
your
gonna
kid's
say, I
doing.
can't imagine my daughter have like. You guys are next level. I applaud
She's
you.
next level.
I
Don't
applaud
put
you.
me as
Yeah.
part of it. She's old enough. She learns. She's just like her mom. She really is.
Well, if you wanted, a fabulous idea, then I say do skateboards, twat waffle skateboards.
Oh, we should. We should have it. Howie Mandel does stuff skateboards.
We should. I would love to get into
Yeah,
the
I think
skateboard
twat
thing.
waffle.
What?
You think twat waffles better than Howie
I
Mandel?
mean, it's a cool graphic.
Yeah,
But I would love to be a Tony Hawk.
I have cunt cake too.
You can only sell those boards at certain shops, though.
No, my Etsy shop.
Oh, okay.
It's Etsy. Dude, that's what the ladies like.
It's-
Etsy. All right.
You're not supposed to say cunt. I told you when we have guests in the room, you don't say cunt.
I feel like who's calling you?
Lou's got an important call.
Product.
Take it.
All right.
All right. Anyway, this was a nice Tony. I can't thank you enough for coming by. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, thank you.
And you also have let's promote. You have a podcast.
I do Hawk versus Wolf with my friend Jason Ellis, who is a former pro skater and comedian. He just opened up for Whitney Cummings
Wow.
last week,
Wow.
and
On stage or
on stage,
just?
yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just maybe they had a thing, or maybe Whitney Cummings opened up for him. So that's great.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Dad.
there you
Well,
go.
oh my gosh, Dad! You've been talking about cunt for the
True,
last 10
yeah,
minutes. Why are
yeah.
you saying, "Oh my gosh"?
I don't know.
I talked about Whitney Cummings opening up. So we'll listen to your podcast. When does it drop?
Please do.
Wherever podcasts are available.
Hawk versus Wolf. We've been doing it for about 6 months, and
Us too. We just started
Yeah.
6 months ago. Well, probably less. And
friendly competition.
Yeah.
we are. I would promote you. I would, whatever you need from us, we're here for you. And
So you just volunteer yourself to be on a guest on our show? Is that
I
what you're
would.
saying?
He would do it.
I would do it.
All right.
Probably
You want
not all the way. Where do
Can
you film? Here?
San Diego.
Oh, I
North
can't-
County.
I don't really try. Can I zoom it? Can I phone
Yeah,
it?
we can, but we prefer not.
Did
you
you
can come to my ramp though? We'll do a full exhibition for you.
When we should go to San Diego. I
Okay,
should take
go.
your kids to San Diego.
We're
Let's go.
North San Diego, so we're not
We could
all
go
the
on
way
a
San
train.
Diego.
Let's go like on a train to San Diego.
I don't want to go on public
Okay.
transit.
It's
We'll
so weird
take
when you,
we'll float
like,
a boat.
I'm from San Diego. Lived in San Diego my whole life. I have to drive to LA at least once a week.
Yeah, you were
twice a
here
week.
for.
I'm
You didn't
here-
drive in for this.
I did.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Absolutely did.
No, you
No,
didn't.
you
You're
didn't.
lying.
You're lying. What else
What
are you
are you
doing while you're in
talking about?
town? You're lying.
Well, I'm in town. I left my house at 10 a.m.
Right.
Came up here.
Yeah.
I grabbed some lunch. I grabbed some chin-chins on the way to go because
They have a good salad.
they have I got a chicken salad
Yeah.
to go. Came up here.
Where are you going next?
Going home.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Why is that so wild to you guys?
It's true, he said. It's true. So now you
How do
have
you
to
know?
go to San Diego to do
Oh,
his
shit.
podcast. Now
But that's
you
what,
have
but that's what I'm
to.
saying. That when you're from San Diego, it's not a big deal. When people live in LA, they'll spend. And now I sound like the Californians, but they'll be like, you guys will spend an hour and a half driving from downtown to Santa Monica when I'm already home by then. Do you know what I mean?
No.
No.
All right.
How long? Wait,
Can't-
Go
how
ahead.
long is that drive? That drive is like 4 hours, right, to San Diego? 3
No,
hours?
It's an hour and a half.
No, it's not.
Absolutely.
No.
No.
What time?
I live in North County. Oh my God. I live this life. I know this more than you guys.
No. I
All
feel
right, well, now
bad
you have to go.
I feel bad
See,
now.
I
Now
feel like
gotta-
we should do
It's
more.
3 o'clock.
Now
I
I
will be
gotta-
home by 5. All right.
If we end, you want to end
No, I'm
right
just
now?
telling you, like that's
Oh,
the
so you're
reality
leaving
of,
now.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Do you?
Okay.
Are you in the? What do you drive? What kind of car?
I have a Tesla.
So that you can be in the lane in the.
That is a bonus, yes.
And it drives itself.
Carpool lane.
So you could just.
I don't have the full self-driving, but I have the.
Do you do any tricks in it?
it?
Do you use?
yeah, he
the-
gets to San Diego in
There
an hour
are
and a
tricks
half.
in it. Do you use the little hidden gems? Do you use the fart machine?
I did for a little bit, but
Got a
It-
fart machine?
Yeah.
It's got a
when
fart
you
machine.
honk,
Yeah.
it farts.
No, you could set it to whatever you want. You can
Or
turn
like-
do
left
whatever
every time
you
it
want.
turns
Yeah,
left.
Yeah.
The fart machine.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the only reason I bought
No,
it.
it's
I have a
fun. I
fart
mean, it's
machine
fun.
that takes
Yeah.
me places.
Yeah. I actually have fans of my video game series were like this. I digitized the sound for the special trick in our video game so that I can honk that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love that. So you showed me that you can have the special honks on the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, you have to upload it to
Will you
a
call
USB
something a
drive.
Howie?
I told you.
Yeah, he said yeah.
Alley-oop, backside body varial lip slide. That's a Howie. I'm calling it a Howie.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you told me that because you're sitting here. I will drive to your.
I don't have a name for it. And when I explain it to people, they're like,
Can
what
you
are
do it?
talking about?
Can you do it and send us the video and we can show what it is so that you
Yeah, I
can
have
see what
video
the
of it right
Howie
here.
is?
What? You have it right there?
Yeah.
So send it to the thing. We're going to put it up on this episode. You named it a Howie?
Wait,
It's
they're
a Howie.
What?
We had a better one of the team here had a better idea. We call it the Tony Honk.
the Tony
Talking about
Honk.
still?
Yeah, I don't know. That's like
I have no idea.
that's the new nickname. That
No,
people
no,
do.
I-
No,
here's
I
what I
think they
think
meant
happened.
The honk.
You
for
were
the
telling a
Tesla.
story. You were telling a
Oh,
story
Tony
10
Hawk,
minutes
I
ago.
get it. Oh,
They got
it.
that.
All
See,
right.
my producer leaves to go piss and turns everything off.
Right.
The other
And
guys
then
have
they joke about
input
it 5 minutes
about
later.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, got it.
Nothing.
All right.
The thing about this, they're all huge fans of this podcast. They don't listen to a fucking thing, and then
Aren't
they
you
watch
glad
it later.
you drove all the way here for this?
I am.
They didn't.
No, this is awesome.
Okay, so this is awesome. So I want a copy of the. This is the Howie. Let's look like he said before.
Let's
at
all
that.
look and point.
Let's point.
That's the Howie.
and that's where you put it in this corner. We're all doing that. That's
Wow.
what
I do
Jeremy-
have, there is.
Whoa.
I want to do a variation of the Howie. I want to turn it into a Smith grind, but it's going to take a while.
Wow, Howie on the Smith grind.
Howie to Smith. That would be Howie to Smith.
Howie to Smith.
Yeah.
Wow, good. I take the grind word out of it.
Why?
Yeah. Well.
Well, Howie's on grinder. That's what people.
Oh, Howie grinder. Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking. Thank you so much, and I will drive
Wait.
down. I will drive. What?
Our merch?
Our
They
merch.
just keep.
What's our merch?
I don't know, Alex.
Oh,
they-
look.
Oh, they have. Oh, my brother has skateboards. Is that what? Can't you just talk into the mic and tell me what you want to say?
He's not sure if what's happening.
Well, I can't tell you a picture in the mic,
Oh,
so I sent you a picture like 20 minutes ago.
is your merch Amp Digital?
I said,
It's
you,
on
you
skateboards.
said we should have merch of that. I said we have that.
Oh,
Amp
on
Digital is my
skateboards.
son's
Got
company.
It. Got it.
They produce this show. They do all the sound and the audio and the video. Amp Digital, and their picture is on skateboards because they're
Thumbs
all
up.
skateboarders.
Yeah.
Seth is actually here today, only not for us, for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And he's so much so that he came in, everybody, what's the name of Natasha's company? I want to plug that.
YBL. Your Best Life.
They always test everybody for COVID. You were tested.
I was.
And Seth showed up even COVID positive just to get your autograph and a picture beside you. He just wants a picture with you and he wants to spend a little time with you. That's how much of a fan he is. He did not pass the COVID
More
negative
people
test.
like that here.
Yeah, Seth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
COVID positive Seth is here to meet you.
Oh.
He's not COVID positive. I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Right.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now you're going over to San Diego to
now
do
I'm going to
his.
go. I will
yeah.
do yours. Let's set that up. I swear I will. And
Be awesome.
that is our review. And what do we tell people?
How about this? I'll send you the best route
Okay.
that you can take, depending on the time, and I guarantee you're less.
So you're
Can I
gonna
say
be
one
his
word to
Waze?
you?
Hours.
Can I say one word to you?
Yes.
Waze.
Waze. Google Maps.
Okay, I have issues with Waze because Waze
Why?
will like take you, just drive straight through this very busy street that's 4 lanes. Just
Are you knocking Waze?
I
That's our one
sometimes-
sponsor for this episode. Brought to us by Waze. Thank you. You fucked up. You got my. Now I don't have a sponsor. No more sponsors. But brought to you by Boney Hawk Enterprises.
Oh,
Anyway,
is
this
that
what?
that could be like a boner pill thing. There you go.
Boney
Oh,
Hawk.
yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah, I should.
You should do that. And
Well,
make
I'm
it
just
like
trying to
ramp up. Ramp up. If you're interested, in dropping in, ramp up with Boney Hawk.
Boney Hawk.
Oh,
you said I blew your Waze sponsorship. I'm just trying to redirect it.
You want a triple ollie? You can do 2 of them in one night.
You want to do the Howie grinder?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
This is not a family show.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody. That was great.
We're like 15 minutes inland.